18-year-old Amelie Osborn-Smith's horrifying crocodile encounter. The incident with a crocodile happened in November 2021 at the Zambezi River in Zambia. She had just finished her exams in Hampshire, England, and was traveling with friends on a gap-year holiday around Africa. She and a friend were on a whitewater rafting trip with other tourists below Victoria Falls. After navigating the river's exhilarating rapids, the group decided to take a break. The guides assured them it was safe to swim in the calm stretch of water. Trusting their expertise, Amelie and her friends jumped in to cool off. But as she was relaxing on the water, she suddenly felt something tug at her leg. At first, she thought it was her friend messing about. But then she was pulled under the water with tremendous force, and she realized it was a crocodile. She was gasping for breath and was terrified when she realized what was happening to her. But in those next few seconds, Amelie's instincts kicked in. She thrashed and kicked, fighting with every ounce of strength. Guides and fellow rafters also leapt into the river in a bid to save her. Luckily, she had a life jacket on, and her friend jumped into the water and was able to grab hold of it. He desperately grabbed at her, trying to pull her from the crocodile's vice-like grip. They both knew that the animal wanted to drag her underwater and drown her. So as she kicked out at the crocodile, her friend successfully pulled her away from the animal's jaws. Eventually, their combined efforts paid off, and the crocodile let go of her body and swam away into the depths. Her friend was able to get her onto the raft and out of danger. As she lay on the rocks, she was bleeding heavily from her wounds. Some people were doing their best to dress her wounds, while others were trying to get a signal on their phones to get help. Eventually, after 45 minutes, the rescue helicopter arrived. She was then airlifted to hospital in Lusaka with serious leg injuries. The surgeries were complex and the risk of infection was very high. But Amelie's resilience shone through, and after multiple operations, her condition stabilized. After a few weeks, she was transferred to a London hospital, where she continued her recovery. Despite the physical and emotional scars, Amelie remained optimistic. Eventually, she was able to walk on crutches and said she hoped to make a near-full recovery and planned to start university later in the year. She told the news agencies in Britain that she was grateful to be alive. So much so that she wanted to give back to the community in the nearby villages in Zambia. So she set up an appeal for schools to be built in the villages of Muke and Delavu near Livingston. On her trip before the horror of the crocodile incident, she had met many of the local people there, including over 100 children. She realized that with all the publicity in Britain of her ordeal, that she could do something practical to help them. Her story resonated with many, and after explaining the children's needs, donations poured in, and she raised over £15,000. So these villages got 2 schools because of the crocodile incident, and the children would have a better future. If you found this true story of survival and courage interesting, then subscribe for more videos like this.